It's Monday and Rob hasn't figured out he can unmute yet. So until then, oh shit. No kazoo.
All right, the music died on my end. Everything just died.
What do you mean everything just died? You still
the-
there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Welcome everybody to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom. With me is Rob because nothing's working for him evidently.
No,
And go ahead.
Yeah, for some reason it was the playback froze on the stream.
That sounds like a you pro.
PC load letter? What the fuck does that mean?
Everything's a me problem.
That's Rob trying to use a computer. Oh, so how's everybody doing out there? It's Monday. It's Monday.
Mm-hmm.
With us also, since you're not going to introduce him, is Script Doctor, our resident physician. How you doing? He's got the
hey, how's everybody doing today?
Prescription for all your entertainment needs, and of course, the one and only, your favorite harpy. Now, do you have your music, Rob?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I
to
do.
play it. Oh wow! I didn't get Destroya. If anyone wants to mail me Destroya,
Dr. Birnbaum.
Oh,
I'm
Just
crispy
made
crazy.
Sadie bark for
you
some
can see my
reason.
screen behind me. I was lazy last night.
Oh, you got you got one that actually.
Oh, yeah.
She's an Emmy, an ESPY, a Tony, a Emmy, a BAFTA. She's an Earl and OBE, which makes her an earlobe. Number 42 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Miss McArandom. Currently struggling with her equipment.
It's too small for the Streamlabs or for StreamYards, though.
Yeah, but it works for your OBS thing. So
Yeah, as long as it crop me in OBS, it's fine.
yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. I watched your one video. I'm like, well, it looks really good. So having to work out pretty good for you. So yeah, a little bit of news today. Star Wars is Jon Favreau. He's Fandom Menace, I guess, evidently, huh?
Well, he's kind of Menace friendly, at least.
Oh well, there's that. And then we got some more Star Trek rumors. I was going to say Star Wars.
That was that one time in college, okay, that he was Fandom Menace. It didn't count. Then no, nobody gets that joke now.
I get it. I was just being like,
We get it. It's just not funny.
Okay.
it was
I know.
kind of funny. Like,
Most of my-
My joke making fun of it is better, funnier than your. No, it's not. No, it's not. You cancel me. Go and cancel me.
what was that music? Oh, is that yours, Micah?
Yeah, that's coming from my speakers, though.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it sounded weird. So how's everybody doing out there? We got Perry Chan in the chat. We got John Willis, Donnie Pearson, Black Phoenix,
Oh.
the Fez Man,
Is that the Perry Chan who does all
Santa
the
Claus. Yes, that's the Perry Chan.
Oh, hey Perry Chan, what's going on?
I need to beg him to make some stuff for me.
There you go. Willie Woodward, 16-bit mascot, a bunch of regulars. Chris Persia. How's everybody doing on this Monday? We didn't do a weekend show this weekend. I slept a lot Sunday.
You've earned it.
Well, I slept a lot Saturday night, I should say. Like
you
I
check-
slept right through shenanigans.
You've earned it though. I mean,
That's what they tell me.
The hours you put in, jeez. So anyway, we have a script. Script Doctor's got a new video, a review of Lower Decks, or as like we all call upper deckers or lower standards,
Yeah.
with a special
as-
from, Rick Sanchez.
Yes. Thanks for hooking us up with that, Rob. That really helped out. He knows people.
I know people, and
He
people know
knows
me.
people. Speaking of people, we dropped a new Bonehead video. we didn't get to premiere it on Friday Night Tights. YouTube was being a pain in the ass, and everything else is going on. So here we go.
Midnight's Edge presents Real Boneheads of Cinema.
Real Boneheads of Cinema.
Today we salute you, Mr. Paul Feig. After your acting career failed, you decided to ruin the careers of others.
Those who can't act, direct, and direct shitty movie ripoffs.
When success went to your head, you decided to destroy Ghostbusters.
Well, how the hell did your little experiment work out?
Paul, we never said girls weren't funny, but sadly, you aren't, so get over it.
And neither was the cast.
You also made Last Christmas, A Simple Favor, and Unaccompanied Minors. Well, I never saw them.
Neither did anybody else, including Amelia Clark, who was in one of them.
Tell me, Paul, what brand of dog food would you like to make commercials for?
I'm thinking Purina for this real bonehead of cinema. Oh, there you go. For those who haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
those who can act, direct, and direct shitty ripoffs.
Yeah.
We're deciding what to do next. We haven't decided yet.
I wonder if we should start doing polls. What do you think? Does anybody know how to do a Twitter poll?
Well, you do it on...
I do.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
I think you just set it right up on Twitter, right?
Yeah. Create poll. And it's in your... There's your tweet options there.
Ah, yes. Yeah, we should do that. We should do that. I'll probably set one up here. I think our choices will be Tom Rothman or J.J. Abrams. What do you guys think?
Those are good choices.
Maybe we should have a third one. Third option, maybe?
Let me
Maybe
see if I
pass
can add. Well, let's save Amy. We just did Paul.
Okay.
All right, so we'll set this up. We'll set it up for a day, I guess. Next.
Right here. Check back in 24 hours. Let's see.
Let's do 2 days. Well, no, let's just do one. Yeah, we'll just do that. All right. Next bonehead. All right, folks, head on over to my Twitter right now and vote. I'll try and get the link for you. Oh my God, Lena Dunham. What the fuck is that? Anyway.
Oh my God. I'm afraid to ask. Lena Dunham is, every time I see Lena Dunham, I'm like, bitch, put your clothes back on, please. For the love of God.
That's kind of what she's dancing in, like some fucking swimsuit shit. And she don't even look like Lena Dunham. She looks like some lady who ain't Lena Dunham, but I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. But...
I'm starving.
All right, folks, head on over there to vote for the next one. Now let's get into the news. Let's start with the Star Wars news. Where to go here? I had it.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Boy, J.J. Abrams is running away already. Jesus Christ.
Let me see.
There's already like a dozen votes, and he's just like winning. Like I just had 2 seconds, and it's like bam, 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 bam.
Let me see. 17 votes.
Already, yeah. Jesus. 25 votes already. Good God, guys. 80% going to Abrams.
It's going to be JJ in a walk.
Oh my gosh, I think so. If any of the early voting is the indication, here's the crap I'm talking about, just because I think everybody else should suffer too.
Ah!
Exactly.
That's Lena Dunham. It's not Lena Dunham.
That is Lena Dunham. It's her official Twitter.
We won't want to see your rich fat butt, and I can say it because I'm fat. We don't want to see it.
She was never that big. What the hell happened to her? I mean,
she looked like the lady who ate her.
See, this is what happens when these young, 20 and 30-year-olds who are glued to their cell phones and are so privileged that they freaking have meltdowns from being in quarantine for 2 months. They sit there and they eat themselves to death, and they Like, I've been boxing and shit while I'm in quarantine. Like, I have video games for working out.
I apologize for not giving any warning. That's what everybody's bitching about in the chat. Fair enough. Culture Casino, our good buddy, sends $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much.
My eyes are like the guy in like the guy at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Or maybe in Event Horizon, right, where he gouged out his eyes that way.
Oh Lord! Oh, for fuck's sake! People, you don't need to stick up for JJ.
No,
I'm not.
He's gonna play. JJ's gonna.
Oh, you've got your identity in your. Oh, fuck you! I'm unfollowing you. Sorry. Nope, don't care. You did one of my pet peeves.
Who?
I'm sorry. So I'm not saying it. Somebody who posted on one of my things.
Oh.
They went and put their fucking preference in their goddamn Twitter profile.
Pronouns in the bio.
I hate that.
Don't put your pronoun in your bio because we don't care.
I don't care who you want to fuck. Don't care. As long as
you need a personality.
my kid, right?
These labels are just replacements for the genuine people personalities that real people actually have. So, on mine, it lists the podcasts that I do, and it lists a little bit of stuff about my YouTube channel, I think, or something, right? It doesn't just say who I'm trying to bang and what my giggity bits are. Like, there's more to a person than their label. And if these people would actually be fuckable and dateable, then maybe they wouldn't need to put them in there. It's like, you guys are not dateable. Not everybody, but just some of them. Enough
news. We've got Mr. John Trent with us. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
Get into your Star Trek. Oh no, you're fine. What's up?
Headphones on, so I might have missed something. Hey, I'm doing well.
Mac, did you ever hear you're coming through your wrong microphone though? You might want to check that.
Are you in the bathroom now, John? I mean, is that where you're broadcasting from? What's going on?
No, I got my microphone I hadn't pulled it down yet.
Okay.
Is it better now?
I was about to say, Mecca, though, yes, people are unfuckable. Did you ever hear David tell his bit? I have a midget friend, an albino friend, and a friend that thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together, we call ourselves the Unfuckables. Now, coming to Fox next fall, the Unfuckables. So, you're laughing. I hear you.
The people who want to go around with the pronouns and the bios and stuff, and the people going around, like they don't understand how good they freaking have it, right? How many of these people got paid to stay at home? A lot of them got paid to stay at home for these last 3 months, right? And all right, so you have these people like Lena Dunham going around, just bait, and that's what I'm going to respond to her as. This is just a bait thing so that you can play the victim. This is just, you're putting out a fat ugly picture of yourself just so that people will say something, just so you'll get the little barfy faces.
Shame
on you for needing to bait people for your rich spoiled brat butt. Seriously, her parents were art dealers in New York. She's very connected. She doesn't understand that she's not that special and her shit doesn't stink. That's what's wrong with these people, is that they think they're finally starting to realize that their shit doesn't stink and they're upset by it. Or their shit does stink, rather.
No, it's just that nobody cares. They're
that too.
Figure out nobody cares. I don't care. Okay. I'm not interested in your pronouns. I want to know what's your name. So I can say, hey, so and so. All right. Now what were we gonna say, Tom? Now, John Favreau, do we want to do this story?
Yeah. Did the other John get his mic working? You there, John?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. That's better now. You were sounding like you were 10 miles away.
Yeah, I just had to move my microphone down.
Oh, okay. No problem.
I push it out when I'm working, and I just forgot to bring it down.
Oh, no problem. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to get into your Star Trek story you just dropped here a little bit ago. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about this news about Jon Favreau. I don't know if you saw this yet, John.
I've seen people talking about it. I just haven't looked into it yet, though. I know it's like on my radar. I think Ichibaka covered it, and I saw Clownfish did something. But
yeah, I think this is actually the Clownfish version we're going to cover here. But yeah.
It's Pirates and Princesses. Jon Favreau talking keeping the core Star Wars fans while reaching out to new ones. Wow, someone who actually wants to keep the old fans. Amazing.
He's been saying that for a little bit now, I feel like. He's made similar comments.
But now the thing is he's doing it in seemingly like almost in defiance of Kathleen Kennedy, though.
I mean, do you remember that? I've only seen clips of it. I haven't watched the full episode, but there's the clip of him on the Mandalorian, like behind the scenes show on Disney Plus, where he like basically just tells her to shut up. He's like, "We're not talking about that. We're talking about this."
Oh, I missed that part. Oh, you mean at the round table thing? Oh,
yeah, the round table, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, she tries to take over, and he's like, but we're doing this, not what you want to do, Kathy. You know?
Yeah.
Nice. Jon Favreau talked to Deadline about the success of Star Wars: The Mandalorian, or as Mecca calls it, the Baby Yoda show. And he offered up a bit of information about the thought process behind the series that actually brought back fan goodwill. When Deadline asked the Mandalorian executive producer and creator Jon Favreau about the thought process behind the show, here's what he had to say. I don't have a Jon Favreau impression, so we wanted to really wind it back to things that inspired the original. Okay. Do you want to take it, have at it, or?
You're lying. Here's some steak. Act.
Okay, well, really get it small scale and tell simple stories, because part of what you inherit when you're going to see Star Wars now is this whole history, because the stories have been told for decades. It was nice with the new medium, to be able to start with a new set of characters to introduce to a new audience.
We got Andre in the chat. I didn't even know he was still awake.
Andre, what are you doing here? What am I saying? It's your channel. It's your show.
Well, if he's still awake, I will send him the link here, but I don't know how awake he is.
It's Andre's world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
And you'll never get one. No, I'm just kidding.
Shall I continue? But we always knew. And this is something I learned from over at Marvel and working with Kevin Feige, is you always want to keep the core fans in mind, because they have been the ones that have been keeping the torch lit for many, many years. But these are also stories for young people and for new audiences. These are myths. And so you always want to have an outstretched hand to people who might not have that background. And so you're really telling two stories at once. You're telling the story for the people who are fresh eyes, and you're telling the story for people who have been with the property and with the stories and characters for so many years. And make sure that you're honoring them as well. That's the secret to the success of the series. Simply comes down to respecting the property, remembering the core fans, and reaching out to new fans. It's a lesson that Disney needs to remember about the Star Wars franchise moving forward. It's a lesson that Favreau and Dave Filoni, executive producer, director, got right. Being fans themselves, they wanted to stay true while building the fandom. It's a lesson Hollywood needs to learn if they are going to constantly reboot or do sequels to existing properties. Lucasfilm needs to understand the IP and the fans that kept the franchise going for over 40 years. Killing the past and beloved characters doesn't always go over well.
Ouch! Mm-hmm. Hey, Andre, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you all doing?
After hearing that, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I had to come. I've been like chatting with like sources for quite some time, and change is coming to both Star Wars and Star Trek. Of course, we all knew that, but it's speeding up DC style.
Well, Lee Jordan sends $4.99. Thank you so very much. Says respect your fans equals money. Well, think of that. What do you think of that? Huh?
Am I gonna have to dip into the good scotch?
No, you're gonna have to celebrate in person with me for that one.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear this. Andre, what's your take on all this?
We all have to celebrate in person, including you, John Trent. How's it going?
Hey, Andre, it's going well. It's good to hear you.
Yeah, likewise. Basically, Kurtzman is not done quite yet, but he has a very, very powerful enemy in Emma Watts. And in Star Wars, Jon Favreau is on his way to take over, and Kathleen Kennedy is on her way on the head and ass out, as we would say in Norway. So yeah, change is coming. And the funny thing is that DC was the first domino to fall, but the dominoes will be falling quickly after that.
I love this picture here. He's got that, like, what is that, a gun?
Yeah, that's the web.
He's probably like, "Hey, Kathy, can you look in the end of this thing? I think it's jammed."
I'd like to speak to Emma Watts just for a moment, if we can do that.
He wants to go full screen.
Let's go full screen. Just
and turn your camera on.
Okay, we have to turn our camera. We got to do this right.
I don't believe you.
As soon as we.
Rob, you take too long doing this shit. You know that.
How hard is it to turn your camera?
Where's my music got cut off? There we go. Emma, I know you're new in town. You're new at Paramount, but there's a certain hackneyed director that we'd like to be rid of, and I'm not above of asking people I've just met for favors. Because, as you know, we all love Star Trek, and we don't want to see
loud.
Music's too loud, and my music's too loud, and I know that.
And you can only see half your face. You really need to fix your angle.
But you're not a Batman villain.
He looks like Burgess Meredith in Batman '66.
Because you don't want me flying out to Paramount Pictures, the Paramount Pictures lot, do you, Emma? Because I'm not above doing that. Desperate times call for desperate. Son of a bitch, and I'm stumbling over my words. As you can see, I'm tongue-tied with the thought of getting Alex Kurtzman. Words cannot express how happy that would make me. So if you don't want me at your doorstep, do the right thing. I think that's motivation.
You don't want that.
Thank you very much.
What are you going to do? Chain yourself to the Paramount lot main gate?
You really, really don't want that. Whoops. I accidentally removed him completely from the stream. There we go. All right. Back to where we were here. Whoops. I'm hitting all kinds of wrong buttons.
How drunk is Rob tonight? Not enough.
Not enough. So, yeah. What else? Is there any more to this, Rob, before we move on to just talk about it?
No.
Okay, we got some super chats to hit real quick here. Our good friend Raging Rhino from Australia sends a $7.99 super chat.
Yes. Wow. It's all talk, John. Mando is just as lore-breaking as the trilogy. Tracking fobs, Baby Yoda, forced abilities with no training. It's not fixing anything. Well, but the thing is, though, I mean, hey, would you rather have this, or would you rather have rocks, Rey moving rocks? That's the thing.
Yeah, I beg to differ. I think, it's a huge step in the right direction, because many complain about The Mandalorian for not doing enough and being like too plain and too boring and too safe and yada, yada, yada. And that's exactly what I think we need after the sequel trilogy. I say that as a non-Star Wars fan, but still that's my opinion, that The Mandalorian is absolutely the way to go forward. And the beauty is that from what I'm hearing, that's how they see it within Lucasfilm as well. The non-Kennedy faction, those actually concerned for the future, love The Mandalorian and see that as the way forward.
Yeah, I mean, I just always go back to Iger and his comments that he made in Q2. He was like, he basically confirmed that they were going to be embracing the Mandalorian with all the spin-offs and stuff. And that seemed to me like that was their plan for the future. I do agree with Raging Rhino, though, on the fact that Mando is just as lore-breaking as the sequel trilogy. But I think the difference between Mando and the sequel trilogy is that it captures the soul a little bit better, or a whole lot better than the sequel trilogy. I have tons of issues with the tracking fobs. The force healing.
They still have time to explain Yoda.
Oh, yeah. And the force healing, though, is just, you can't really explain that.
Yeah.
Well, see, part of me feels that The Rise of Skywalker compromised The Mandalorian a little bit with regards to them trying to bridge the two together more. I think if they didn't have that obligation to try and make them so coherent, even though they're clearly not, The Mandalorian may have fared a little better with not exploiting the Baby Yoda thing as much as they did.
But you see, I keep saying, though, that it's not a mistake that they said it right a couple years after Return of the Jedi. It's John Favreau and Dave Filoni. It's their way of saying, that stuff that they're doing, you don't pay any attention to that. This is what you want to watch.
Terminus EST sends in $5. Maybe John could run Lucasfilm. Hell, even Frank Marshall can run Lucasfilm better than KK. Give me gorillas with lightsabers any day over the crap she pushes on.
That's not incorrect.
Propaganda, feminist crap.
I think he's trying to bait somebody out of the bathroom.
Well, there are those rumors that the only reason that Steven Spielberg ever kept Kathleen Kennedy around was because Frank Marshall wanted it and to keep him happy.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is in the story of when she said that she didn't even want, they kept it a secret that they were a couple for so long, which is weird.
Yeah, and she was mad at George Lucas for outing them to Spielberg.
And so she hatched her revenge that took decades in the making.
Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn.
Tell me about it.
So it's a pattern in Hollywood, because Rob and I discovered that's a pattern with Alex Kurtzman, where everything he does is just out to get revenge on everything. Every plot, every storyline, it's all about revenge.
I heard my name.
That's right, Frank. You heard your name. Frank?
Are you talking about me?
Yes. And Congo.
Oh, I love Congo. You can get it right now on Amazon for $9.99 on Blu-ray.
You're just a white dude. What do you know?
I know how to make a movie about killer apes.
I was in a movie about a killer ape. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nobody was watching you. They were watching the killer ape. Anyway, thank you. I'm going back to the bathroom.
Always love when Frank Marshall shows up. So anyway, but yeah. Well, Tom, it is unfair though about that. Doing it as a favor to Steven Spielberg, or doing as a favor to Frank Marshall. Because KK does make a mean cup of coffee.
Fezman sends in £5. KK is going to make Congo a franchise when she leaves Disney. Not if Frank has anything to do about it, I bet you. Now they're just trying to goat his ass out.
They're really going for it, yeah.
No, I think she'll probably just go on and do all this feminist work and all that stuff. We'll just see that.
She'll take up her causes full time, just to make sure she's out of the house when Frank is chilling by the pool. I always picture Frank Marshall being just sitting around the pool with a Hawaiian shirt on, shorts and sandals.
He's in those inflatable rafts that, or the inflatable lounger, just floating in the pool. Right?
I got the arm floaties.
The water wings.
Yeah, I got orange ones. And she can touch my Congo over my dead goddamn corpse. That's right. Congo, $9.99 on Blu-ray. He just leaves. He just walks in and leaves. All right. Speaking of John, we got John here for a good reason. I'm glad we have Andre here. So we're not going to play around too much with Andre here, obviously. What we do have is some more Star Trek rumors. Oh, we got another super chat real quick. Jesse Miller, thank you so much, says now with more revenge.
Missed opportunity though, Tom. We didn't put Frank Marshall in the Real Boneheads KK version.
Oh, he doesn't deserve to be sullied like that. He's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, he may not have a perfect track record, but he hasn't committed any sort of offense on an audience yet that I know of.
Exactly. Raging Rhino says, so what? Mando gets the pass because it feels more like Star Wars than any other Star Wars we got. No, I don't know if it gets a pass. Especially check out Script Doctor's takedown of the show.
It's a good first step in removing some of the damage. That's what it is.
Yeah,
compared to some of the shit that we complain about with JJ Star Wars and Ryan Johnson Star Wars. Oh yeah, I'll take tracking fobs and Baby Yoda any day over that crap.
Mando still has room to sort of fit within the original trilogy mentality and spirit. I personally think Filoni needs to withdraw a little more from that because he's kind of the one that does like to break lore through his Clone Wars cartoons and his inclusion.
Or was it you or John who was saying that might have been stuff that was forced upon him though too by the studio as well because of the that was you, wasn't it? Who said? Somebody just said it about Rise of Skywalker kind of.
Oh, I suggested that there might have been a possibility with regards to the Baby Yoda that they said, hey, make sure the Baby Yoda heals can heal some character, because we're going to have Rey do that in the movie. So we want to make a line of a connective tissue type of thing, and they just worked it in there because it did seem kind of like a contrived scene. Like it didn't really feel like it mattered or fit into the episode, right? So
yeah, and the fobs, I agree. They don't do a good job of explaining how they work, or if they do work, they're kind of magic bullshit.
I kind of, I would kind of like if there was some sort of database that he would check, some kind of galactic database where almost like the wanted posters at the post office.
Or they have
Like
to
the-
say for somebody
like
to
the
have a
bounty
fob.
hunters have a guild, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
for
a guild
them
database.
to say like what they should do is like for somebody to have a fob, they've had to have been in place with some kind of chip or something though. Like they don't explain how the
has to be
fobs work.
like a criminal that's jumped bail or something, right?
Yeah, they do a piss poor job of explaining how they work.
One of the ways they do it actually with is they do it in Cowboy Bebop is there's the Bounty Hunters Guild or Union or whatever, and they do have the galactic database. They have that show. Oh God, what was the name of that show?
I can't remember the show, but yeah, Long Shot or Long Shadow.
Yeah, and they feature all the bounty heads on the on
top
that,
bounties, where they've been last seen, and all that stuff. They give you a direction. Yeah.
Yeah, they give you an idea that there's people out looking for these people. They kind of need to do a better job of doing that in The Mandalorian.
But no, I don't feel like it gets a pass in any way, shape, or form. I mean, Star Wars is still very, very much in dire straits, but it's a step in the right direction, I think. I mean, unless Andre wants to add more to it, then.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, Raging Rhino feels like we're giving Mando the pass kind of thing.
Oh, I don't give it a pass. I mean, it's a step towards the right direction, but it's still got, let's say, a hop, skip, and a jump before it actually gets onto the track.
No, I mean, we reviewed Mandalorian and we were very critical of it. I mean, you were on all of those reviews with
Downing does a great has a great little series covering the Mandalorian along with mine. Like, yeah.
We were a little lighter on it, but we also have gotten to the point where we just don't give a shit anymore about Star Wars.
I gave it really bad reviews for the most part, except for Baby Yoda. But
yeah,
that's like the interesting thing, that when we reviewed it, the ones that liked it the most was myself and Mr. H from Mr. H Reviews, also known as the two on the panel that didn't really care about Star Wars. We were the ones that liked it the most. And I'm still of the opinion that, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But given the state of Star Wars right now, I think this is just the thing that the franchise needs to begin the course towards recovery. So is it the final solution for... that came out wrong. Is it the ultimate fix? No, it's not. But it is a very, very big step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's about where we're all at.
I went back. I watched Half in the Bag, Red Letter Media, about the Last Jedi, and it's just amazing. It's almost tragic the amount of errors and missteps that this franchise has taken within Disney. And they pretty much said the same thing I said about Rian Johnson. You gave the franchise to just some guy, and he said, "Do whatever the hell you want with it." I mean, that was the biggest mistake they made. And
he made 2 movies, and I don't understand what his charm is that KK decided to put all that faith in. Did he just sweet talk her? Did he schmooze her? Did he just blow smoke? I mean,
probably. He's an auteur, he's a hipster auteur director. And I would say this is what happens when you give a hipster a camera and an unlimited budget.
Well, it was pretty though. That's like I always say with Last Jedi, it at least was pretty and it looked like it fit in the Star Wars universe. Rise of Skywalker doesn't. It's a stupid J.J. Abrams movie.
Very much, yeah.
But
I mean, after The Force Awakens, I mean, it could have, and JJ's running away with it. Holy crap!
he transcends franchises. He's ruined or had a part in ruining Star Wars and Star Trek.
But after the Force Awakens, it, granted, a lot of people don't like looking back, don't like it now, but it could have recovered. Star Wars under the right director, it could have really made a stride towards being something great. All the foundation, it's like building, building a house or building the Taj Mahal or the Roman Colosseum. You lay the initial blocks and then you stack all the blocks on top of it. Something could have been great, but you came in and gave it to, like I said, a hipster with a camera, and he kicked everything over. I just subverted your expectations. I'm like, no, you didn't. You took your pants down, took a shit on it. I mean, we're supposed to say thank you. I mean, what do you think is going to? And now the series is irreparably damaged. It's ruined for a generation at least.
And that means it'll never recover, because then there's one generation that's not going to hand it off to their kids.
Yep.
Yeah, do you think these Raylos, if they ever have kids, we've already confirmed that they're pretty much undateable, but if they ever have kids, they're going to be so mad at it because listen to them screaming in the theater.
Captain Air with $5 says, ugh, more KK, more Kurtzman. I'm so sick of news about these two. Give me something classical. What's Tom Rothman up to? Tom Rothman's doing a good job for Sony. We can't bitch about him. That's one of those places where, for the most part, one of the worst people in Hollywood found one of the best fits, because Sony needed somebody like him right now who cuts corners and
frugal. He's the Hoover
and,
Dam of Sony. He's keeping a tight
let's
grip
be clear.
on
Sony doesn't have a buttload of franchises. Ghostbusters is one of the few, and I think he's learned to keep his hands off.
That's right. Isn't he Men in Black and all the?
Well, that's where he last
films?
fucked up. But see, now he played it smart with Men in Black, right, Andre?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was that he did with.
He sold the foreign rights ahead of time, is what he did.
Yes, that he did. That was very smart, and also he was very smart with Ghostbusters, because he had no hand in making the 2016 Paul Feig movie. He came in while that was in post production, and he slashed its budget.
But I'm talking about the new one. I don't think he has anything to do with.
The thing he had to do with that, he greenlit it.
Yes, I greenlit it. Yes.
I mean, as far as like getting involved, I haven't heard any rumors or anything like that, is what I'm saying.
Andre just said I'm smart. I mean, why is that not enough for you? He just said,
go make Baby Driver 2 and shush.
Is he still involved in Avatar?
Yes, I
The
guess.
original, yeah, I think.
I think Sony still has the rights for Starsky and Hutch.
I can tell you exactly what he did with Avatar. He did the same thing with Avatar as he did with Titanic. He tried to shut it down and cut corners and basically tried to prevent it from happening. That is what happened there. And that is part of the reason why he was ousted from Fox. Because on 2 occasions, Cameron had made the biggest movie ever, and on both occasions, Tom Rothman had fought against it tooth and nail every single step on the way. And then when all the other errors started to line up, then that's what got him ousted. Whereas the other guy that he had been working alongside him, Jim Giannopoulos, he had stood behind and fought for James Cameron on both Titanic and Avatar, and that was a big part of the reason why he got promoted. And he incidentally was the one that also greenlit Deadpool after Rothman had successfully blocked that.
And Giannopoulos is at CBS now, right? I think I
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one behind Emma Watts' hiring. Is what it looked like.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, the thing with Rothman is where he's at Sony. Sony is in a spot right now. Like, I mean, yeah, they may have Starsky and Hutch, Men in Black, and a couple other things, but they've pretty much damn near killed every franchise they have. And I think one of the things
next, right?
What was that?
Uncharted isn't? I assume that's Sony.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna do much. Like
that's the Last of Us show or whatever.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, that's all. That's the thing. I don't see Sony being a big franchise house going into the future. And the thing is I think Ghost Core owns just as much of Ghostbusters now than Sony does, if I'm not mistaken.
He killed the Dark Tower. That he did, because he greenlit it and then he interfered with it, and that's what killed that.
That even killed the series.
Yes.
And what were you saying, Script? About, I think you were talking about Ghost Core.
Oh yeah, Ghost Core is. I think in a couple of years, Ghost Core is going to end up owning all of Ghostbusters again.
I thought they already did.
They own a lot of it.
The 35-year deal's up, so.
This year,
how involved is he in their the Marvel stuff with like Morbius and Spider-Man and Venom and stuff like that?
I think that's more Amy's dish.
Right.
he is. I can tell you exactly how he's involved. He's involved with green lighting powers, and he also gets to say thumbs up and thumbs down on some creative decisions, and he gets to come with notes and ideas. But the one who is the day-to-day producer is Amy Pascal. That was something that she was able to lock into contract. That's actually the deal that Marvel has with Sony. A big part of the reason why that happened and why Sony were willing to give Spider-Man back to Marvel at all was because Amy Pascal was covering her own ass, and she made it part of the contract that from Marvel's end, they required that she had to be the producer on all of the Sony movies.
Mm-hmm. And I think if anything, and this is just me speculating here, if Rothman had anything to do with the recent Spider-Man deal, he probably pressured them to make a deal so that Disney was paying for half the bill, because that sounds like a Rothman move.
You know, that video.
Yeah, I don't know the details of exactly what.
Rothman, no, and again, I'm just speculating. But again, like that sounds like something Rothman would do.
Fair speculation.
You know, I brought this up to Tom 2 years later? Somebody found my Into the Spider-Verse review, and they just like picking it apart and all the little millennials are reading.
This is really bothering you, isn't it, Rob? This has been bothering for like a week now.
And I'm like, it's mystifying. I'm like, and they're saying, oh well, and they're like, oh well, how, I don't understand. Why do you think they're gonna yank Peter Parker out of the Spider-Verse, out of the Marvel universe? Like, because they tried, asshole. That's why.
See, well, what I've been getting for the past 2 years on my stuff, you say one thing that goes against SJW mindset, and they're like, "Oh, or you're racist," and that's what they've done. They posted your thing on a anti-racist subreddit because they think because you gave it a bad review. Obviously, because they hate black people, that it has to be because that's why you gave it a bad review. I mean,
the truth is they're digging.
Is it monetized? Right now.
Oh yeah, of course it is. But no, this is like a year old already. No, I think the whole thing is it's not even Rob. I don't even think it has much to do with the Spider-Verse. I mean, there's a few of them that maybe are, but
somebody's trying to score points is what it is.
Well, Mecca's right. Somebody shared it in some subreddit because we're being attacked right now because of that fucking cop video from a few months back. I've been getting nonstop bullshit from it. We've got some group that got our name in there. That's how we wound up on that fucking list too. I think.
Yeah, somebody says I'm Comics Gate or something.
Yeah,
my whole one comic book that was a P.O. Box gift.
Rob Altus sends us $2. I love that icon, by the way. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Best served over and over again, I should say. I screwed that one up.
Liam Neeson sure thinks so.
Yeah. Mr. Wolverine.
Yeah, $5. Times they are changing, I hope at least. And I know it's not strategy, but that's all I got. So do we want to talk about Star Trek now? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to get to that, but we got a couple more super chats real quick. Mando is marketing gimmick, not a story, says Lost Jedi with $2. There's probably an argument to be made there for that, I'm sure.
Well, the whole thing is that Baby Yoda is a walking Funko Pop. I mean, that's the whole thing. No, seriously. I'm like, it's indistinguishable from the actual character.
I told you. What did I say? What did I originally say?
You're 100% right on that. I mean, they came up with something so cute. It's almost impossible to hate unless you're Ryan Cannell.
Terminus EST or est. I'm sorry if I'm saying. I don't know how to say that. I really apologize. Sends in $5. I bet it's Congo down in KK's. Oh. Down in the KK's nether regions, and it's so lush. Frank gets so lost he can never find the G spot. God. Hey, don't you ever imply that I go down there ever again. Okay? That's it.
I always say that Kathleen Kennedy said recently of events at Lucasfilm, I'm not going down without a fight. Frank Marshall said, I know, you tell me every single night.
We got over 500 people watching. Could you guys hit that like button? That'd be great. We appreciate that if you do. And just like all these super chats we got here, we appreciate these as well. We're going to get through these real quick so then we can get to the Star Trek news. Sander Hammerslag, thank you so much. Good friend of the channel. Did you read the awkward Tom Hanks headline in USA Today? No, I did not. You'll have to just put it in the chat there. You don't have to resend another super chat. Just tell me what it said. Goddess of Lim 2003 sent $5. She says Mando feels like Bebop or Firefly in Star Wars universe. There's room to grow and expand on the lore. They have time to develop what they introduced. Yeah, I guess in a point, like they can still explain the tracking fobs a little better, and Yoda, they have time to Baby Yoda, they have time to explain a little better. But I don't disagree with everybody that it's not necessarily fixing anything. But it's not
ceiling can be explained away.
Yeah, well,
unless they never use it again. I mean,
it's just something that's never really come up before. That's necessarily been. I mean, I'm trying to think of a point where it would have been necessary to use it per se, but Luke may not have known how, I guess. That's one thing you could say. Dark Saber Force sent $5. Personally, I'm still highly disturbed that Ava and Tom are making my favorite Jack Kirby story fourth wall. I can never get over this.
That's a God's movie.
Oh, yeah. Rob, Andre, you guys are a little bit more in that region.
No,
were they announced on Fandom? I don't remember seeing their names. They didn't pop out to me.
Ava DuVernay on New Gods. That was a long time ago that she was.
That's
announced.
the Eternals. No, that's not the Eternals. That's
It's New Gods,
yeah,
but
New Gods.
were they on the DC Fandom list? I don't remember.
I don't
seeing their
think
names.
so.
I don't think so, but I think there's going to be surprises there. But we'll see.
I don't think Ava DuVernay's making that thing.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
Have you heard any movement on it in the last year and a half, 2 years? I haven't.
No, I've heard nothing, and I hope it continues that way.
I think it's one of those things that got axed when AT&T came in. But again, speculation, so don't anybody fucking quote me on that.
like Ryan Johnson, nobody told her.
Yeah, right. Captain Harrison sent another $5. Says, screw the Star Trek news. Let's play Win Tom Stop Still Win. Please, Captain Harris, everybody who won anything on that, I've moved, so everything got totally discombobulated, obviously. Resend me your info because it all got lost way down in the mix of things. Whether you tweeted it to me or emailed it to me, send me again or just say a hi so it gets put back to the top of my list. Because you guys don't understand. Like I wake up in the morning and I have hundreds of messages sometimes, so like they get lost and buried, and I'm not trying. I looked for them and I couldn't find them all, and I know there was a couple people who won a couple prizes. You were one of them, Captain here. So yeah, just say hi on a Twitter DM or resend me an email or whatever so I can get that all taken care of, because I gotta get all that dug up. I gotta find all the stuff again. So.
And making matters worse, one of those hundreds of messages is going to be me asking, "Where's the next video?"
I know, right? Which one are we working on now?
Well, we're working on a Star Trek, a Star Wars, a Marvel in China, and a DC.
I was gonna say I haven't gotten, unless somebody sent me some audio I missed. I'm still waiting on.
No, I'm working on writing all of those.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. I was gonna say I didn't miss something today, did I? Because I slept for a couple hours. I didn't want to make that mistake. Eva Unit 4A sends $5. Watching the Orville on DVD again. I'm finding new things in every episode. The show is so damn good. Also, when's Secret Hideout contract ending? 2023. I think that's roughly around the number 2022, 23. I think we figured. They got a couple years left on their contract. But glad you're enjoying the Orville. I want to rewatch it again. I haven't got a chance to. Have any of you guys since it first came out?
No, I haven't.
I finished season 2 recently. It's best thing on TV.
Brilliant, yes.
Yeah, I enjoy season 2 a lot.
Yeah, and I was one of those that was kind of lukewarm in the first couple of episodes.
Mhm.
But my God, it did a rise I've not seen since Spartacus, which also started really, really lame in the first few episodes and then got amazing as the episodes progressed. And this is like the same thing.
Also, when you guys email me or whatever for your prizes, remind me what you won. Because I got the 3 or 4 prizes. I remember what they were, but I don't remember who won what.
Someone's gonna say a Cadillac. So I mean,
Yeah, I know it was a Funko Pop, a CD, and a movie. So that's all I know. I've got them. I had them ready. It's moving and everything. Just then I lost the addresses. I should have wrote them down originally. Should have had you do it, Rob.
The TMT arcade, you can send that to my address.
You want something? No, everybody wants something from me.
That's a joke.
I know. Bounding into comics. Speaking of John, we've got this story from you that you just dropped this just before the show. Actually, new rumor claims Star Trek shows canceled, including Picard, as international struggle mounts between Emma Watts and Alex Kurtzman. Now, normally when these 4chan leak things happen, we're like, they're very. There's a lot of people who like to feed us fake bullshit to try and get us to report on it. So a lot of times we take a lot of this shit with a grain of salt. But this Emma Watts thing has really opened up like the floodgates to the possibilities of what could be going on over there at CBS, not just Paramount. Because even though that one article only talks about the movies, as Andre will recall when we were talking about it the other day, I think we both came to the same conclusion as to why they weren't talking too much about Kurtzman. If you wanted to elaborate on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this 4chan leak here, to begin with that, it contains some things which are legit and some things which are maybe not so. But what is legit, and that is the conflict between Emma Watts and Alex Kurtzman. I've reached out to multiple sources and I've been able to, I'm not going to say confirm because it's still rumors, but basically the sources that I cannot name. So, and for that reason, it all has to be taken with a grain of salt, even if these are from named people that we just cannot name. Is that yes, there absolutely is a conflict between Emma Watts and Alex Kurtzman, and that's part of the reason why he really wasn't mentioned so much in this previous article, because the focus is on Emma Watts. But what Emma Watts is doing, from what I've been told, is that she is working very much in conjunction with Shari Redstone on fixing the Star Trek brand. And part of that, of course, is on the big screen. And from what I've been told, the first thing to do is basically axe whatever they're doing. So the first thing that she did is like the Star Trek 4 that's been in some kind of development for years. Like the report was that it's on ice right now. No, it's dead. Like it's really, 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 really dead. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's been dead since February.
It's been dead for much longer than that, but that hasn't kept them from keep on trying. But now she's like really pulled the plug on it for once and for all, and they're not accepting any more pitches until they have figured out for themselves what is the best course of action and how to reconcile that with Kurtzman. And that's also something else I've heard, that Kurtzman won't go willingly. They want to buy him out, but allegedly he's not interested in being bought out. Like, this is important to him. This, at least he says so. Maybe he's just fighting for a larger paycheck. I don't know. But apparently he's not willing to go voluntarily. A little bit like Kathleen Kennedy. There's like some, I don't know, threats about burning the castle on the way out, but certainly indications that he's going to fight for his position and his vision and his values and all of those things. And to that end, he has sought alternative funding, but will he get it? That we don't know. And all of this I'll elaborate on in a future video to come out very, very soon.
Well, look at all this stuff that we keep seeing where they keep rerunning these articles that, oh, Strange New World is going to be a return to, episodic, and it's going to be optimistic. And we keep hearing that every time. And Rob and I just did a video where we were talking about, that's pretty much Alex Kurtzman's whole MO. So how different can his real life personality be from what he's putting on screen? Every story is about revenge. Every story is to get back at somebody. Every story is how much the people are just getting, how much revenge.
Everybody's betrayed him. I mean,
how about all these betrayals and
nihilism.
It's just all the same BS to try and get in. And I always call it out as they're just trying to get people to talk positively of it, to trick investors into thinking, oh, well, they've got all these shows in the works and this is exactly what's wrong with it, so they're going to do this, so they're going to get all this money. And I just call it out every single time. It's like, you guys have lied 20 times before about this. There's article upon article every season of Discovery where they swear up and down, oh, it's going to be optimistic, it's going to be positive this time. And what do they do? Nothing. Oh, Picard is going to be a return to optimism. And what do? They pluck out Icheb's eye right on camera. It's like, this isn't optimism, people. You're part of this activism before storytelling crap. They think better than now. They're basically religious zealots bent on inserting their politics into everything, their cause, what they're fighting for, and that really makes me think that he probably is sitting there saying, no, I'm right. I have to fix this. We have to make them see. We have to fix these bigots and these ists and phobes.
He said flat out in that thing that the agenda comes first, Star Trek is second. And I think that's where Emma's coming in, and she's tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
we are too.
Well, she's the former head of developments over at Fox Studios. She knows that, it's paramount to, no pun intended, to make money off these franchises that they have.
And she's a good producer. Emma Watts is good. And John, I'm curious. First of all, congrats on an awesome article. But outside of writing this article and referencing the 4chan, what do you think about the leak? And have you heard anything else since publishing?
I've had one guy contact me, and he said there's like you said, he said there's some stuff to the Kurtzman Watts internal struggle. As far as my own personal opinion, I'm skeptical, especially with the Lower Decks stuff and the Star Trek Prodigy, which they're saying Lower Decks might not have its second season and Prodigy would be canceled. I mean, just last week they hired a director, or they announced a director for Prodigy, and they seem to be moving forward on that. And it's animated, so that just seems like the way Hollywood's doing it right now. So I'm not sure if there's a lot to that.
I think it's very healthy to be skeptical about that, because what I see,
I think Prodigy is already completed. Yeah,
that's what I think too. So
I was going to say, I think that had more to do with the fact that it was pre-funded by Nickelodeon. That's why. Yeah.
But I also think that if it's not done, it's certainly far along in progress already. Yeah. So that specific part of this leak, I don't buy, because that's like the tricky thing with some of these leaks. We've seen this on some 4chan leaks before, and also some leaks that have been fed to us and to some of our peers. I remember there was like one thing in particular that we did not run with. Others in our circles did, but we didn't, because we recognized that there are some parts of this leak which simply aren't accurate. And just a few days later, like a press release was released, which then kind of like disproved a part of the leak, not the whole, but the part. But of course, then you have all the Drekkies, which is going to go, oh, look, it was wrong about that thing, so everything is wrong, which of course isn't the case at all. And I think that this might be something similar, that here, I think that I'm not going to say that this is something that's put there deliberately so that we will report on it, and then they're going to go and announce season 2 in a week or two or something like that of Lower Decks. But that's the kind of thing that I would be wary on, because I do not buy that part of this leak at all. But the Emma Watts thing is legit.
Yeah, with where these came from, I saw the 4chan. I saw who tweeted out the 4chan. I'm like, I'm a little skeptical coming from the specific person. So I'm kind of skeptical on this one. There's a couple of people who, when I do see them share information, let's just say, that some people I'm going to trust a little more than others. But yeah, this one, there's a lot of stuff that seems like bait. I think Prodigy, since we already had pretty much the exact same thing that we had last year at Star Trek Las Vegas about Prodigy, which was basically just a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are right that there's a lot more work done on it than we've seen, and I think they're just kind of waiting for convention seasons to have something to drop. And now that everything's gone,
well, not just that. I think it's just because it has more to do with Nickelodeon than it does with anything else. Like, they have, I think, more control over it. And I think this is also a situation where that's the only reason it got a whole season and everything else. So if it doesn't perform, they're not going to spend any more money on it.
No,
So,
and I see
the byline for Prodigy actually does sound interesting. A bunch of like teenagers come across a derelict Starfleet ship and then board it and then go out and adventure in the galaxy. That sounds like Star Trek.
Yeah, except there's a bunch of problems with that.
Yeah, like the second they turn on the ship, it would send a beacon to the nearest starbase, and people would come and get it.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to log into the command system because none of them would have the command authorization codes.
You'll have a super hacker among the kids as well.
Yeah, there's going to be an engineer.
Not unless they had a Ferengi who did like a Stargazer thing from the first season. But like, even then, that's tough. Yeah.
No, it's just a super.
They'll have some stunning and brave teen.
She'll be a black woman.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with this is
diverse teen.
The damn thing could have been like the old Filmation Star Trek show in that vein. But no, now that we're stuck in Kurtzman Murder Trekville, this just seems like a quaint, stupid fucking idea. Like, who wants to get kids involved in this shit? Like, that's the problem I have now. And it's the same thing with this Lower Decks business. They're aiming this towards 14-year-old kids, and nobody's going to be interested in this shit. Like, if you're not already a fan, then you're not going to watch it. And if you're not a fan of Star Trek, this is not a good representation, no matter which version it is, whether it's Picard, Discovery, or Lower Decks. Sure, granted, Lower Decks has a few things for it for the classic fans in it, just because it's made by people who've watched Star Trek before, and Kurtzman probably wasn't hovering over it like a fucking satellite. But at the same time, it's still Kurtzman fucking Trek. It's still fucking garbage. Like, it's got Maki Spock 2.0. Like, she's the same fucking character. She's just fucking annoying as piss. You got Twat Waffle Jones, the main white kid, who's annoying as piss because he's fucking Wesley Crusher 2.0. And then you got Black Cyborg Kid, who's halfway interesting, but he has no balls. Then you got the green chick who, let's face it, she deserves better than Cyborg Kid. And that's the show, folks. Like, and they actually had some points where the second episode got to where it should be, but the show's got off on the wrong foot from the start. It's a dumb fucking show, period.
It's still for people who don't like Star Trek. It's a book report on Star Trek references from people who would never like Star Trek, would never write it, but are like super excited to be working on Star Trek. So they had to go and dig up and research a whole bunch. They just don't get the spirit of it, and they clearly didn't like what they were seeing. So that's why every chance they get, every reference is a racial slur against an alien species like Vulcans or Klingons. Like, our main Mikey Spock 2.0 character is so racist against other aliens, it's disgusting. So they're bad at representation and diversity and progressive, their own progressive ideals there. Every chance you see, they're mocking something Starfleety. You know, like if the Klingon guy is a little too drunk to give a speech, what do? They make him puke all over his face and all over his own face.
That was funny, though.
They just mock him.
Everything is just a contrivance just to have Maki Spock, Ensign Stunning and Brave, come in and solve whatever problem.
Well, even you go ahead.
Problem suffers from the same exact problem Star Trek Discovery suffers from.
Kurtzman?
Yes.
Even Unit 4A sends in $5. Also, is CBS Viacom financially or legally penalized if they don't make Secret Hideout shows? If so, can they lose the trademark before Secret Hideout's contract ends?
I can answer that.
Go ahead. I figured you could.
Yeah. Viacom CBS cannot make any Star Trek whatsoever on TV or on the big screen that is not part of the alternate license, which right now is managed by Secret Hideout, although Bad Robot is ultimately behind them again. So right now, no, Viacom CBS can't do anything. They have outsourced Star Trek to Secret Hideout, and after the reunification of Viacom and CBS, they've outsourced it both on the big and the small screen. And there's nothing they can do unless Secret Hideout allows themselves to be bought out until the contract expires.
And then
there is one legal loophole, but I don't know how strong it is. So yeah, we're not going to be seeing anything new. However, to add on to that, Andre, because you are very much correct, Viacom CBS also does not have to greenlit anything that Secret
That's
Hideout
the
or
one thing
Bad
they
Robot.
can do. They can
pitch
block
to them.
everything. Yeah. They can. What they can do is that they can make them impotent and block everything that they're trying to do until the contract expires, and just wait them out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that contract is going to expire a lot sooner than 2023 because, if memory serves, Brian Fuller pitched and sold Discovery in early 2016 around the same time that contract was solidified, and that would be 4.5, almost 5 years ago to this.
Well,
right now.
But didn't the 5-year part come in later though?
Yeah, that
It was
came
actually-
in because correct me if I'm wrong, because what we reported, and maybe there's more to this, but basically on his way out the door, Les Moonves gave another contract, and this was when it was announced that Alex Kurtzman was going on his 5-year mission. That was the final thing Moonves did before he went out the door. And
My understanding is that was the case, and because of that contract, that was caused the kerfuffle with Brian Fuller's show, because apparently the contract came before he submitted his script, and as a result, that's when everything had to change, and that was still in 2016.
Yeah, because this is complicated. Because here's like the thing with the thing in 2016 is then that's when CBS wanted to make their own Star Trek to push CBS All Access, but then Bad Robot came and said, whoa, hold your horses, because we have a 10-year non-compete deal right here, and that hasn't expired yet, so you're not allowed to go and make a Star Trek series on your own. It has to be made under our alternate deal, and that is when the basically production shelter that is then between CBS and Bad Robot, which is Secret Hideout, was formed to that end, to basically create Star Trek for TV under the alternate license. That was the ultimate purpose of Secret Hideout. And they did that because Les Moonves didn't want to wait. He needed some Star Trek to push CBS All Access right now. And that's when Star Trek Discovery got hijacked from Brian Fuller and taken away from him and given to Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout, and it all went to hell there. Now, if the 5-year clock started running at that point, or before Moonves left there, we don't know the exact details. I don't know, so I don't know exactly when it ends.
All right, and then EVA Unit 4A, they follow up with another one here. Says, regardless of Kurtzman and JJ's efforts, real Star Trek is in hibernation at the moment, and they can never take away from my heart and soul what Roddenberry put there. And that's the thing, is there's so much Star Trek that we can enjoy that's already out there. That this new stuff, we really don't need to let it. If you're somebody who does not want it to disrupt your life, then don't let it disrupt your life. Like I've said it a million times over, and of course I don't say it to make Andre feel bad. He knows that. I'm just saying it. If it wasn't for the new shows, if it wasn't for Andre making us watch them, I wouldn't watch them. By choice, I would not watch them. I would have never watched Discovery. I would have given Picard an episode or two, and I would have. And
I
this,
haven't watched any of them.
I wouldn't have watched this fucking Lower Decks crap purely on the trailer alone.
We're rewatching Deep Space Nine on our channel every Tuesdays at 3.
Yeah,
there
so
you go.
Get the good Star Trek. And John, really, you haven't missed anything. Your life is better for not having seen this Drek. It really is.
I know.
And I understand people like Captain Robert Apel, they're enjoying Lower Drek, and that's fine. Go ahead and enjoy it. Nobody's saying you can't. But it's still Kurtzman Trek. It's still part of the problem. It's still garbage. Most people don't like it. Even the critics aren't getting behind this show. Like, that's the one that's got me more than anything surprised, because it gives them everything they want. Ensign, Stunning and Brave, and all that shit, and
Especially
they still ain't
critics.
having it. Yeah, especially the top critics. They especially ain't having it. Zontar, I think I'm saying that right, sends in a Canadian $5, eh?
Hey.
I'm afraid that Lower Decks Canadian ratings are what you'd expect from a live-action Star Trek series on broadcast channel. It downright dominated cable. I'm trying to understand the statement there.
It actually, it didn't because it didn't crack the top 30 from what I saw.
Well, Andre, we just did the video on the
Yeah.
I think that what he's trying to say is that that the ratings would have been as expected if it was on broadcast TV, but since it was on cable, then these ratings are actually pretty awesome. Is what I'm getting, and yeah, that's what he's saying. But I don't know too much about the Canadian ratings and details there. But I know someone who does, namely Script Doctor. You're from Canada, and the ratings that we reported, assuming that they are accurate, how are they for cable? Given that this is cable and not broadcast TV.
For cable, they're terrible, but for a cartoon show on cable, they're pretty okay. And that's the difference, right? Because cartoon shows on cable don't usually fare too well, mainly because the stigma is that a cartoon is for a younger audience, and the adults that have cable want to watch more adult-like programs. And even though you have Generation X and millennials as like the main demographic for watching cable, even though I think millennials have cut the cord on that to a point, like cartoon shows usually average 500,000.
Are now dead.
Shit, sorry.
What the hell is that?
That was a news feed up.
Oh, Chris Persia brings up a good point here too, though. To jump back into your script, he says that with 10 million people having cable in Canada, that means only 2% of them are watching.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. And on top of that too, like, yes, City TV Sci-Fi is a cable show. If you have like a Bell Media connection, you pretty much have it with your basic package, so you have access to it. And Bell is like the dominant service provider in Canada. Next is, I think, Rogers. Then there's Cogeco, and then there's some other smaller ones after that. But the smaller ones just buy service from the big two, which is Bell and Rogers. So even if you're able to get the ratings from all of those two service providers for whichever ones have the contract for whatever cartoon show on their cable systems, you're still looking anywhere from like maybe 500,000 on the actual airing date to like a total of 1 million by the end of the week for those that watch on rewatch. So I mean, that's what it is. And if these numbers reported are accurate, they're just below the line. So I mean,
and we never said anything was getting canceled. To be clear, we never said anything was getting canceled. We're just reporting what we found.
What were the numbers? 400,000.
Like 400,000 people, I think, were watching, and then it was at the second episode of the first episode, because then it dipped.
That was the first, I think.
Yeah, and then it dipped down in the second episode, if I remember. I don't remember the exact numbers, but
the first one came out on the 6th, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week, those ratings should be public on Menace.
This
I
week,
think.
They should be public this week, Tuesday or Wednesday.
At the latest, at the latest a week today it would be.
Yeah, tomorrow or Wednesday.
It
looks like they dropped stuff on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, it's like I think it was below half. You're right.
Well, they weren't even showing up on Numeris for the week that they premiered because they were so low. Because it only, unless you sign up for it, it only gives you the top 30. So
they don't have the August 6th stuff out yet, though. They just
they only have up
July
to the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, to be clear, these were leaked to us, so we don't know for sure if and we said take them with a grain of salt. But again, this this goes in line with what happened to Picard and Discovery and everything before it. With Picard, we learned that nobody watched Discovery. And again, these numbers show with Picard that nobody's watching this. Picard had a pretty good audience starting out with, and then it just went to shit.
It was like 1.8 million, I think, in Canada or something like that.
For Picard? Yeah. And then it dipped to half. And then what we figured out by doing the maths we could here in America, at best, its ratings were about as good as what Enterprise was when it was canceled. That's not good. We're talking like 4 or 5 million people in the US watched it, roughly.
And I still haven't gotten over that cancellation, I have to say, and also just because I have to leave pretty soon, but also to emphasize that to Saltdot or whoever was saying that we did not say that Lower Decks is getting cancelled. So
we have never said Discovery is getting canceled. We've never said Picard is getting canceled. We've reported rumors that have claimed things to that effect, but we have never Unless we had something to support it, we've never
the
even.
closest
Yeah.
we have come is that we have reported that allegedly season 3 is going to be the final one for Discovery, but that's the first time that we've ever said anything of the sort of anything being cancelled. We've said if this happens, then cancellation is on the table, and then that didn't happen. We've done that, but we've never said this is going to be. What we've said is with the Discovery is that it's looking increasingly likely that season 3 is the final, but we shall see. But Lower Decks, I think we're going to get the second season of that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to be here with you, but and also to everyone in the chat, it's also a pleasure to have you here. And I apologize for my whispering. I've seen some commenting on it. The reason
You guys
is quite
sleeping,
simply,
baby.
it's in the middle of the night, and if I speak too loud, I'm going to wake up my 2-year-old, and then the 2-year-old is going to wake up the 4-year-old, and then the 2-year-old and the 4-year-old is going to wake up my wife, and then all hell breaks loose. So
Check your Facebook before you go to bed, though. By the way,
I saw, and oh hell yes,
I figured as much. So yeah, just let me know when so I can facilitate that. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And also, you guys, you in the chat, you gave me an idea. ACMR, is that or ASMR? Is that the thing? ASMR.
That's how Tom gets to sleep sometimes.
Yeah. Rob, you and I, we're gonna have so much fun with an AMSR or AS, whatever. I'm tired, but I know exactly what we're gonna do, and it's gonna be epic.
All right. And then we got a super chat from Matt G as Andre heads out the door. Thank you so much for hopping in here. It's always fun to get.
I'd like to answer this one.
You're going to answer this one? Okay, sure.
With you. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. How would you rank these entities in terms of awfulness? The JJ Films, Discovery, Picard, and Lower Decks, assuming the rest of the season is the same. Okay, assuming the rest of the season is the same. Let's start off with John, since he's our guest, real quick.
I haven't watched. I don't watch.
Yeah, I was going to say you
Discovery.
haven't really seen them all, but
I've seen the JJ films, but that's it. I haven't watched anything else. Do you want me to rank the JJ films?
Sure, if you want to.
Oh, the first one is probably the best one, and then the third one, and then the second one.
All right, Andre.
Yeah, absolutely. As for me, in order from most to least awful, the most awful is Picard, without a shred of doubt. And the reason I say that is because Picard was the weapon they could have used to fix everything. A Picard series, a TNG follow-up, could have been used to basically wipe Discovery out of continuity and save Star Trek. Instead, it was so bad it destroyed Star Trek. So that's number one on the absolute worst list. Still pretty bad, but not quite as bad, is Star Trek Discovery, which is pretty unwatchable. And then we have Lower Decks, and then the least awful, meaning the best of the Trek that we've got in the past decade, are the JJ films. And then I include Beyond, even though he didn't direct that one. I would say that the first and the third, they are equally good, and I actually genuinely enjoy both of those movies. I do not enjoy Into Darkness, but it's still a whole hell of a lot better than any of the other items on the list. So that's
the Alice Eve scene is good in the second one. The Alice Eve scene.
Yeah, he's got another one.
Yeah, there's some good scenes. There's some pretty scenes, and like also back when I had the 3D TV, that intro sequence with that planet Nibiru, is that what they called it?
Yeah,
that scene was absolutely stunning to showcase the 3D capabilities of my TV. I regret getting rid of that TV because it had both 4K and 3D.
Right?
No
Did you do that for? Oh, it didn't have HDR. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I regret. So yeah, I can't have everything.
I've been thinking about getting a projector for that very reason, because of the 3D, and it's like I don't want to keep two TVs around all the time.
Yeah, I made the wrong choice, but either way, it was fantastic demo material for 3D. So yeah, that was the only good thing that was with that movie, was demonstrating the TV to all my friends and everything.
Yeah, because the other thing is I just recently got the first Star Trek 09 on 4K. It looks like shit. They just upconverted it.
Yeah.
And the other, I'm glad I didn't bother with the other two. I'm like, I'll just stick with my 3D on those. Matt G, my answer. Let's see who's next. Rob, let's start with you're on the bottom there. Let's do you.
On the bottom, let's see. Matt G, $5. How would you these? We already did. Yeah, how would you rank these?
You got to rank yours. You quit watching porn.
But before that, it's pretty late, so I got to be.
All right, go ahead. Take
Everyone,
care, Andre.
It's been a pleasure, and I'll be back soon, and I'll be speaking much louder again in the next video. So yeah, all right. Take care.
Have
everyone.
a good night, sir.
Andre ASMR.
All right. How would I rank these entities off on this? JJ Films, Discovery. Because I'd say Discovery is at the top of the awfulness scale. Season 2 Discovery is top of the awfulness scale, followed by season 1 of Picard, season 1 of Discovery, then the Lower Decks, then I'd say probably Into Darkness, 09, and then Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Beyond probably be the least awful.
All right. Mecca.
I didn't see all the JJ movies because I heard they were terrible. I didn't see the middle one.
Didn't miss a whole lot.
But I think that was the first. The 09 one is probably the most watchable of all of them. I think Discovery's better than Picard because at least it's stupid and cringe. It's like so bad. It's like making fun of. It's like making fun of toddlers throwing temper tantrums, and it's kind of guilty sort of. Well, it's not a guilty pleasure watch, but it's a guilty pleasure to take pride in or to take pleasure from making fun of them. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Lower Decks.
Oh, Lower Decks. This is just shit. That was just shit. I can't tell if I think that's the worst of all of them. I think that's the worst one yet because it's Rick and Morty, and I hated Rick and Morty.
That's a fair assessment. Script.
Mine's pretty comparable to Rob and Andre's. I think Picard is worse just because they completely wasted several great, potentially cool story ideas that they inserted into that season and didn't even play out at all. Followed closely by Discovery, which is just a slap in the face to everything that made Star Trek really fun and interesting. Lower Decks, of course, is very insulting, especially if it maintains this level of quality. And I use that term quality loosely. As for the JJ films, I think Into Darkness is worse, and then 09 is a little better than that, but I actually quite enjoyed Beyond because it felt more like an actual Star Trek film, at least closer to it in style and in execution. And yeah, that's my list for them.
All right. I'm going to go from best to worst. Star Trek 09 and Beyond, probably the two best of that bunch. Then Into Darkness and Lower Decks are probably the least next ones. And then that's the problem with Picard and Discovery. Like, I agree with everybody else here. It's a tough call between the two because Discovery is bad. Overall, it's the worst just because of how long, how much we have gotten out of it and how much it destroys the past. But then Picard at the same time has the same problems that The Last Jedi has, and that is that it destroys a character using that same actor. Because Discovery I can at least ignore if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really affect anything as far as TOS because that's still Leonard Nimoy, and if I don't want to accept mock Spock, then I don't have to. The problem with Picard is that it's Picard. So I guess I'm going to go that Discovery and then Picard is the absolute worst just because it's the most egregious. And then Eva sent in, since Matt G asked, I'm also answering. The only alt license I stand up for is Star Trek Beyond pacing is odd, but it has the real heart of Star Trek in it. Yeah, between those films, I mean, it feels the most Trek. I agree. Boag sends in a Mexican $20. When are you having Razor Fist over for a talk? I would love to have Razor Fist on. I've met him twice, I think, or once or twice, but I've not had a chance to really talk to him outside of being on a show. I don't know if Mecca, you know him that well, or any way to get a hold of him, but I know you. I think you've talked to him a couple more times than I have. Really? Okay, I was gonna say I think maybe you've talked to him more than I have, but
no.
Okay, well, just tweet at him, guys. We won't do that kind of stuff, but if you want to have anybody on the show, that's the easiest way to start, is to just tweet at somebody and say, hey, why don't you come on MEAD or whatever, and stuff like that. That always helps, because otherwise I can try and get a hold of them, but it's not always the easiest. Sometimes I trying to get a hold of Clownfish as well, so. But that would definitely be somebody I'd love to have on. I love Razor Fist. He's a hell of a guy. All right, I think we're caught up on Super Sadie. That is enough. You can wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're caught up on Super Chats now. All right. Whew. Yeah, that was one of the few times I was talked to. I think he's on Friday Night Tights or some other show. I was on with a birthday show with him one time, but he wasn't on for very long, so. All right. What else did we have here? We had something else you sent here, Mecca.
I just want to ask.
Hey, can you guys vamp for a second? Somebody just does not want to wait to go out.
I want to ask John Trent what he thinks about the Marvel Avengers game, because to me this whole it doesn't sit right with me. This idea you're going to be playing as Kamala Khan throughout most of it.
Trash. That's what I think. I actually liked the idea of the game that they had set up, where they would it sounded like it was going to be a single player game, and that they would just keep adding on like new content as the game's life cycle continued. And I thought that was like a really cool idea. I always wanted to like kind of continue playing like my single player games if they had like really good stories. I think that's one of the reasons why I like Star Wars: The Old Republic, because you can play that. While it's an MMO, you can play it as a single player game, because the storytelling is just absolutely fantastic with the class storylines and everything. But everything I've seen from Marvel's Avengers just looks horrible. I saw some like super horrible like graphic glitches. Like when they first showed us, the character models looked just cheap. Didn't look really good. And then I saw something where like Kamala Khan is like her face is like skull or something. Just didn't look good during the beta. And then I guess they're probably going to put a bunch of characters behind a paywall, it looks like, as well.
Yeah.
To have to unlock them. So I don't know. It's just, especially after they said they weren't going to have microtransactions, so they're pretty much lying. So.
Well, like I said, to me, it just seems like a gigantic bait and switch. I mean, you're being promised an Avengers game, and when they showed the initial teaser trailer about a year ago, was it?
Yeah, had it. They were promoting it at New York Comic Con when I met up with Gary and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and I was like unimpressed with it then as well. And then I think then we really got to see some stuff at E3. I think. I might be wrong on the New York Comic Con. I know they showed it at E3. And then I know, like, I think Square Enix had something. I think it was during the Square Enix E3 presentation, and Final Fantasy VII was just way better than Avengers, because it just doesn't look interesting. I think I do think they had it at New York Comic Con. They were letting people play like the first like episode or whatever where they're on the carrier. I saw people playing it. It didn't look interesting. It looked boring to me.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. Oh, they want to portray people as playing through the eyes of someone who would admire the Avengers. I'm like, yeah, there's already a character in the Marvel universe like that. He's called Rick Jones.
Well, everything I've also seen too is like they're definitely making Kamala Khan looks like she is the main character. It also looks like she's like super OP. I even saw how she was like moving through the city or whatever. She's swinging like she's Spider-Man instead of like, I don't know. I would think someone with plastic powers would maybe walk like Plastic Man. That's just me. someone on stilts or something like that instead.
Or fly like a flying squirrel, like Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah. Instead, they are having her swing like Spider-Man. So
take a cab, like.
Eva Unit 4A sends a $2 super chat. Says, "Is Crawl from Beyond secretly Q from Q? Who?
Well, Thomas,
I wouldn't have failed, right?
Definitely would have failed. If so, they're a detriment to the continuum, wouldn't you say?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I doubt it. But if you want to do that as a fan theory, go for it. I don't see why not. Goddess of Whim sends in $2. Thank you so much. Mecca, when are you going to join Toxic Femininity? Well, normally she has a creepy little book, but now your schedule might be opening up to where you might be able to hop on episode one of these days, right?
How much does it pay?
That's
the thing. I
right?
have a whole channel to manage.
I know. That's the thing. She's got other stuff to do too. Yeah.
I'm here just to kind of so I have time with these guys. So I don't know if I.
You never know.
Time off, but
you never know. One of these days. All right. Okay. So you sent me this deal, Mecca. The only thing is it doesn't specify a source.
I think the source is Mike Zero. I think.
But I mean, this is not. I've heard stuff like this before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think it's a little far-fetched,
but it's a little more kind of like fan wish fulfillment kind of thing.
What is what Mike's? Well, what is this?
Some about a Rise of Skywalker 4-hour cut coming to Disney Plus. The links in the tabloid. Yeah, it's from a British tabloid. But if you wanted to read this real quick, Rob, you can just to go through it.
Hold on, let me see what we got here. The Express is it's a noted.
It's a tabloid.
It's a rag, as they say.
I think they've gotten some James Bond stuff right though before. So.
Star Wars, I think they just re-reported our stuff, but I'm not even kidding.
Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, 4-hour director's cut coming to Disney Plus. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker with more Luke, more Palpatine, restored deleted scenes, and one major change to the ending. Is a 4-hour super cut coming to Disney Plus? Question. What do you think Kathleen Kennedy? The player's getting in the way. Whatever you think of Kathleen Kennedy, and it's safe to say most Star Wars fans have strong opinions one way or another, she undeniably left her mark on the Skywalker saga. Yeah, she tore it asunder.
I don't think people who love the new films have an opinion are highly praising of Kathleen Kennedy. I think there's only critics of her.
Now that change appears to be coming to Disney Plus with CEO Bob Iger, slowly handing over to Bob Chapek will change also be coming to Star Wars franchise. Kennedy's reign of Lucasfilm is drawing to a close, and some fans are excited at the rumors there's an extended version of Episode 9 on the horizon. Not I, sir. All films go through a series of revisions and cuts, but the Kennedy Star Wars era has seen repeated reports of huge changes to directors' visions, from the completely reshot ending to Rogue One to the firing of original solo Star Wars story directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller, whom we might add were cheered upon their exit. There were cheers upon them the news of them being fired. Is that right, Tom?
Oh, that's what we heard.
That's what we heard.
From the staff of Solo, or
from the cast and crew, what we heard.
Okay.
Yeah. They shot 88 days, roughly, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We were told by a very, very reliable source.
Mm-hmm. While Episode 9 was filming, there were tantalizing reports of numerous scenes with Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, yet his final screen time was disappointingly limited. And that's how interesting his story is.
You're so interested, and you're bored, and you're tired, and you're going to sleep already.
That's right. Is the following rumor of a new version with the original planned ending just feverish fan wish fulfillment, or all of their dreams come true? Well, the report says Bob Chapek is busy developing the Star Wars universe by using George Lucas, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all these major creators working together to deliver authentic material to Star Wars fans around the world. Not plural, guys. It's one thing, Star Wars fans. Proofread your shit.
When are you going to send me the design for that T-shirt?
Oh, that's right. I gotta do that.
If I have to do it, I'll keep most of the money.
I gotta come up like a PRUFE proof.
Should I have Jeff make a cartoon version of you first, so you can be like, I'm having him do like send me a couple pictures, so you can do one of just regular Rob and then one of Raging Rob.
Use the one where he's on stage where he's yelling.
Yeah, I just need a good, decent picture to where he can see it, so he can do the like his he how he did his the drawings for World Class. He did the one for Andre. I'm thinking about having him doing one for us too, but I need the pictures for him to go off of. So yeah, so if they got to be decent enough so we can see him.
He's yelling in front of the comedy wall.
I gotta find them. Yeah. One thing Star Wars fans have been very curious about is what could have happened with Rise of Skywalker if Kathleen Kennedy did not intervene and did not delete majority of scenes through 2 phases of reshoots and rewrites, which took place in 2018 and the big one in 2019, which is where a lot of Luke's scenes were deleted, as well as Palpatine's and Ben Solo's. Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are pushing for the release of the Rise of Skywalker 4-hour cut that is also considered the J.J. Abrams George Lucas cut. That will introduce dozens of deleted scenes sometime in 2023. It is described that one of the major scenes involving the end of the film is set on Tatooine and involves Rey Skywalker and Ben Solo. It is noted that in the original climaxes to the film, Ben Solo is alive and is in a scene done by George Lucas where Ben Solo successfully forges a new lightsaber with Rey and hands it to her. This is done by fusing the Skywalker sabers, both Luke's green one and Leia's blue one. It's not Leia's blue one. It's Luke's blue one, dumbass. Creating a double-bladed saber. Ben keeps...
Well, that would be Anakin's actual Skywalker, actual lightsaber, wouldn't it?
Yes. Ben keeps Anakin's blue saber and levitates it and places it inside the Lars homestead.
Well, that makes no sense because there's one too many lightsabers there.
Yeah.
The ending implies that Rey and Ben now live on Tatooine, and a large Jedi temple is seen in the distance under construction with a beautiful binary sunset with R2-D2 and BB-8 and by their side. Before Kathleen Kennedy cut the entire...
Are they assuming that sunset's gender?
Yes, they are. See, now, no wonder why Kathleen Kennedy, if this is true, no wonder why Kathleen Kennedy wanted the scene cut, because there's a white man alive in this. Yeah.
Kyle what sends in CLP 1000. What is that?
Forgot what that was.
Well, while Rob's figuring that out, I'll say what he says here. He, whatever. Sorry, they. I don't mean to assume your gender. Bobo's Bizarre Adventure. Bob Iger and Chapek. That is so true. Bob and Bob. Yes.
Oh, it's CLP Chilean pesos.
Well, thank you so much for Chilean pesos. And then we got Peruvian Souls from Diego Flores, our good friend. Yang Ye played the game, likes mechanics for Iron Man and Hulk, but is really concerned about it. That must have been something you guys were talking about before.
Marvel's Avengers. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That's what they had demoing when I was at New York Comic Con, was Iron Man.
Cool. All right. And you have anything to add to that then? Because I have not. I've just seen the trailer, so I have very little to.
I have no intention of purchasing it.
Yeah, I don't. I just, it's funny because I was just talking earlier about games. I'm like, if it doesn't have a pack or, a plumber in it, or maybe a Donkey Kong in it, then I don't know. A Ninja Turtle. I know Ninja Turtle games.
I bought NHL 20 a month ago. I still.
Oh yeah, sports games I can play, but yeah. I got the new Spider-Man game and it's still in the plastic. I just haven't even fucking messed with it.
Tom, you'll love it. That's
I'm sure I will. I just you don't understand. Like, I spent a bunch of money on the PS4 business when I first bought it. I mean, it wasn't brand new when I bought it, but I've maybe played it a few times, but I've not nearly gotten my money's worth out of like the VR stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I played a few games here and there, but otherwise it's gotten used more for watching movies and Netflix and stuff like that than anything. So I mean, I've got about a dozen games, but I've only played them maybe once if I'm lucky.
I'm telling you, people get really pissed off when I say that, that for costing maybe a third of the money, Spider-Man for PS4 looks a hell of a lot better than Into the Spider-Verse.
There you go. You're gonna get 10 more fucking comments, Rob.
That's right.
Spider-Man PS4 is pretty decent. I haven't finished it, but I think I've gotten like halfway through, and I enjoyed it. I
gotta get the DLC, even though I really don't like the idea of getting DLC, but it's for that it might be worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, I think for DLC it depends on what you're getting. If you're getting bang for your buck, then it's totally worth it. I think. It just depends on what the DLC is and what you're gonna get with it. Like, I've been playing my Switch a lot, and I got the Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC, and I have no complaints about purchasing that because I got quite a bit of new content from it, and it was highly enjoyable.
Other than that, I got some movies and stuff in the mail today. I don't know if we want to see what I got. I got Extro imported.
Extro? Never. What's Extro?
It's a sci-fi movie you won't like.
Okay.
It's produced by.
That's one movie. That's a huge box.
Yeah, it's got this T-shirt's not going to fit me, but it's got like 4 discs. It was an early Bob Shea New Line deal, but anyway, and I got Troll and Troll 2 imported.
Nice.
I'll save that one for last, and that one for next to last. And I got some 4K titles. I got Quick and the Dead. I got Stand By Me. Everybody likes that one, This I paid way too fucking much for. It's a 3D lenticular, but you see it. But this is a limited release.
Yeah, rad.
Like, you don't want to know. And this, I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to get imported because at first they wouldn't send it to me. But it's Bill and Ted in 4K, the first film.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
My brother Mark he scoured back in the day. He scoured the city far and wide, looking for a copy of Rad at at a rental place. I was like, dude, they don't have it here. It's not gonna be.
It was a hard movie to find for the longest time.
Oh yeah, because he was really into BMX.
It still is. Like, this was a very, very limited release. Like, it's going for like a couple $100 on eBay right now. I got it for a hell of a deal, but it wasn't that hell of a deal. But anyhow, Diego Flores sends in another Peruvian 5 souls. Tom, tell us the truth. Frank tried to gamble away Cali, didn't he? So he could finally build Congo. So how did he lose in this equation, though? I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. The bet would be what?
No.
Okay, was it more like so he could finally... So tell us the truth. Frank tried to gamble away Kathleen. I'm not sure how that works because in both cases, Frank wins and nobody's going to let him get away with it. Maybe I'm missing the bet. Anybody else can figure that one out? I'm lost on that one. Did I miss one? Let me see. I got these 2. Was there ones before these script?
I think so. I thought Diego had another one before that.
I think we got that one, though. That was the one right here. This one?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
You're good.
Oh, yeah, this one. I don't recall this one. Did we?
Yeah, we did talk about it.
Oh, jeez. I must have just had stream brain.
I'm just glad you actually caught it, so I didn't want to miss anybody's super chats. But thank you, Diego Flores. Tim and Flip, hey, how you doing? It's been a little while since I've seen you. Sends in 10. What is that? R.
Rupees?
Brazil. Those are South African rands, I believe.
Oh wow,
cool.
What is this talk about remaking search results, web results, plane, trains, and automobiles? Love you guys. Oh, yes. Oh, shit. I totally spaced that out. Oh, my gosh.
Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
Fuck that noise. Who the hell? What the hell?
Why? Can you call it something different? That's what you used to do back in the day. You used to give it a different name. Try to hide the fact you're remaking something.
Yeah. Deep Impact meet Armageddon.
Well, that's a little different.
Same year.
No, yeah.
Ants meet A Bug's Life.
Yeah, well, that's another same. You guys are in the wrong situation here. Wow. Why is Kevin Smith on this? Anyhow,
Kevin Hart.
No, I know, but Kevin Smith's on.
Oh yes, Miss Westbrook Studios.
Did he cry? Kevin Smith again?
Will Smith and Kevin Hart are preparing to unite on the big screen for a major Hollywood remake. A new report from Deadline says the stars will take control of Paramount Pictures' version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. No, fuck you.
But Tom, it's going to be more diverse now, and that makes it better.
I don't want a remake. We already got one. We don't need another
road trip. Yeah, if you want to do a road trip with Will Smith and Kevin Hart, go do a road trip, but don't brand it as a remake.
Yes, I could come up with a dozen scenarios.
But Tom, people need to see themselves on screen. Don't you understand that?
I don't look like Will Smith. This isn't made for me.
The film seems like an ideal one for a new version from Paramount. I guess.
Says who?
Says Deadline. Scroll down.
Well, fuck Deadline. They're wrong.
I can't make out who wrote the article.
Right there. Well, the bottom paragraph.
Mike Fleming Jr.
He's one of the reporters. Right there.
Right there, yeah. It's very funny, but writer-director John Hughes made it exceptionally touching. It was perfect the way it was in the first place. Leave it alone. Will, didn't you learn your fucking lesson with Karate Kid?
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Mark C sends in $5, says, I would buy a DLC to Spider-Man game unless it was called Spider-Man 2. Don't they have the Spider-Man 2 costume in there, or the Raimi Spider-Man costume anyway?
Yes, they do. They do.
By the way, it's not only Troll 2, it's Troll 1 and 2 plus the worst movie ever made documentary thing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Anyway, sorry, you're on.
The Raimi costume is a free DLC. They just gave it to you one Christmas. Just as, here you go.
And it shows up in Morbius.
Yeah, this has Troll 2, and Best Worst Movie. So I made sure I had all three.
I remember when they were filming that documentary.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
The guy who's producing it also produced the upcoming Hulu series Woke.
This Planes, Trains, and Automobiles thing?
Yeah, Aisha Carr is...
They actually have a series called Woke. They're just not even trying anymore. They're just going to call it Woke.
So the writer of this film is executive produced the Hulu series Woke. Aisha Carr, who's writing the script.
Eva Unit sends in another. Thank you so much, Eva Unit. You've been sending in so many super chats tonight. Attention, Hollywood. Remake things that need fixing, like Disney's The Black Hole or Robot Jocks. Both cult classics. Both need actual love and tweaks. Yeah, that's something Rob and I have said in Script and Mecca too.
That's the formula.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica worked.
Yeah, find stuff that didn't live up to its potential in the first place. Like, that's how come I love Little Shop of Horrors. Yes, it's a remake, but that original one, it looks like it was made for $1.12 because it was.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's in it too.
But still, it's charming, but I actually like the remake better. So,
there's a lot of Roger Corman films from those days you could remake today that would be probably really
yes.
good.
Well, Death Race aside, because that remake was kind of whatever.
Oh no, yeah, Death Race was a big misstep. That the original is still better.
I don't think they got the idea of that. They missed the boat on that one. Same thing with RoboCop. That was kind of the same thing, like the same reason they missed the boat. But no, like RoboCop didn't need a remake. Neither did but you're right. There's tons. Like I don't.
Bucket of Blood, I think, is a Roger Corman film.
I didn't like it that much, but they had the right idea with like the Piranha deal. Like nobody remembers Piranha. I mean, come on, And the best part was they start off the film and it's got fucking Richard Dreyfuss in a boat.
No, it was tongue in cheek. Made fun of itself. It was great.
And he's technically playing Hooper too, which is the best part. But anyway, Tim Riggs sends in $5. Hollywood needs to stop culturally appropriating the 80s. No one in the Hollywood today is good enough to eat the defecated sewage from the 80s. Well, we've got something coming from the 80s that we'll definitely be talking more about here in the next few weeks. Hint, hint, hint.
Oh,
But anyway.
This just appeared on the Midnight's Edge group. McG to direct Disney Plus Turner and Hooch series.
Oh, and then McG.
He's still working?
Apparently, he's not just
I thought he left like a
McG
couple years
ever did
ago.
was make one of the few Terminator sequels that's like, all right.
Salvation, right?
At least it's not Genesis. That's what you could say. It's like- Mark C sent in another $5. I think you're missing my point. I wouldn't buy a DLC unless it was, as a whole game. Well, they did do the Spider-Man 2 game.
Hold on.
Have they ever done a remastered version of that? Maybe you should check into that, Mark C. I mean, I don't know if you're a fan of that, but I get what you're saying now. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to mystery. You don't have to super chat for that. But
hold on, Tom.
Huh.
Flickering Myth has the 5 best YouTube movie channels.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, well, Red Letter Media is number 1, obviously. Lindsay Ellis. Who the fuck is Lindsay Ellis?
She's from Channel Awesome.
Yeah, she used to be the nostalgia chick, super SJW.
Is she the one that looks like a young Kathy Bates?
More like young Janine Garofalo, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Movie Sucks. Maggie Mae Fish? Who the fuck is this?
Never heard of her.
Jenny Nicholson. And
That's 5 already.
that's 5. Okay, you know what, you fuckers? No love for Midnight's Edge. Fuck off.
Of course not. We're not that big. Come on, Rob.
No, you just need to be a teenage girl in her bedroom surrounded by porgs.
Right? Or not. Yeah.
Who the fuck is Maggie Mae Fish?
I don't know. She's probably got millions of fucking subscribers. Just like,
I don't know. If I knew how I would be sitting here.
that's what I love to hear about all these big YouTubers that I'd never heard of before, but have millions of subscribers. It's just like, okay. Kyo What sends in another CLP 1000. Remake Mac and Me with Paul Rudd already. Right? I love how he uses that clip every time he's on the show.
She's got 86,000 subscribers. We have more fucking subscribers than her.
Really?
Yes. Fuck off.
Oh,
Fuck
wow. Yeah, fuck that. But even Nerdrotic deserved to be up there before that. Screw that. All right, where were we? Here? Another super chat. Well, thank you so much, Eva Unit. Sends in, here, you like Voltron, Rob. Netflix's Voltron Legendary Defender was an amazing remake of the original. One of the very few remake reboot I have wholeheartedly embraced. I've heard that from a few places, yeah.
Yes, it was very good. Very, very good.
There you go. So if you guys want to, check out that. It's got a lot of recommendations. Goddess Whim sends in another $5. Thank you so much. My dad says if you want to remake something, TCM has a whole catalog of right, but a lot of those movies I don't want them to touch. But some of the ones, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, guarantee you somebody's going to try remaking Casablanca with a diverse cast.
Now in color with a happier ending.
Still set in World War II, though.
That was from Gremlins, too. Remember that? Tonight on Turner Classics. On Clamp Cable Classics, we have Casablanca, now in full color with a happier ending.
I'll never forget someone said to me one time, why can't Indiana Jones be portrayed as a black man? Why can't he? Oh, he's still Indiana Jones. I said, okay, how does he disguise himself as a Nazi? Because we know we're all familiar with the famous all black regiments of the German army. You know,
they were popular. Tim Riggs sends in $10. If they really want to do an edgy remake of an '80s movie, let's see Howard the Duck with I'm not finishing this. Brie Larson in the place of Leah Thompson and going down on the duck and now the first part you're not wrong. I've been saying this since I saw that final scene in Guardians of the Galaxy with Howard the Duck, with Seth Green doing the voice. I'm like, I want that Howard the Duck movie. I want to see that. The rest of this, you can take it and keep it, because I don't want Brie Larson anywhere near another Marvel movie, especially in this case, because she'd be playing Captain Marvel. And I really don't think Howard the Duck would want any of that. He's got better taste than that.
Would everyone agree Brie Larson is just a lifetime Hallmark Channel actress at best?
She's a forced fucking. She's like the Jai Courtney of female actors.
Yeah.
People, and I just play people.
That's pretty apt, actually.
This Christmas,
her and Basmati just proves it. Like, that's all you really should have been doing. You shouldn't have been an Oscar winner.
I apologize to Jai Courtney. Jai Courtney can at least somewhat act.
Jai Courtney has the range of wood of a fence post, and still he has more range than Brie Larson.
That's my point. I apologize for insulting him.
He does good as Boomerang. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he's all right in a few things. I mean, I felt bad after I said that. And yeah, so I had to apologize a little. Rob Atlas sends in another fight. Thanks, guys. You guys have been on fire tonight. So much. Thank you. Remakes are usually doomed because of the old fans don't really want it, and the younger audience never saw the original. And well, that's the thing, is like the best remakes were times when, like, even if you had something like King Kong, back when the 76 King Kong came out, it had been like 40 years since the original had come out. Hardly anybody had seen the original. Whoa, what the hell is that?
Sorry, I dropped something.
Oh, it was you. Okay. I thought it was Rob breaking something.
No.
Like, I mean, unless you were lucky enough to catch it in theaters or maybe on TV, if it ever got shown on television back then, that's the only chances you ever had to see King Kong. So a lot of the audience that was seeing King Kong in 76, it was a fresh audience, never seen that story before. Same thing with like The Fly, The Thing, stuff like that. The Scarface, especially. Hardly everybody knows that's a remake. And it doesn't even really resemble the original outside of just a gangster rising to power is like the only kind of thing that's the same.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds, another great one. Yep.
You know how I first saw the original King Kong? Like when I was 5 years old in the basement of the school library.
Oh, wow.
They used to host like classic movies.
Did it have it on like 16 millimeter or something like that?
Yeah.
Or was it on?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's cool, actually.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I'm like, that's kind of shit we used to do in the 70s.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen that because I didn't see it until it was on, I believe, Turner Classic the first time. Way back in the late 80s when they finally got the rights to it and they showed it for the first time uncut in however many years. It had been, because otherwise it had just been released in theaters with a bunch of cut shit out of it. And yeah. It had not really gotten much love before that. But yeah, like that's the thing, is you got to find stuff that doesn't necessarily, like we always bring up like Last Starfighter, a few other ones. But we're going to be wrapping this up soon here. Mark C sent in $5. Has there been any movement or news on the He-Man movie? No, other than Centennial's been talking a little bit about it, but we're not.
He's doing Atom Smasher now in Black Adam, so who knows what his schedule's going to look like if they do sequels and he's still in it.
Or if he's even in the original. Yeah, I don't know.
Thanatos Felicitas. I want a remake of Barbed Wire. No, I want a remake of Barbarella, and I want to offer the part to Brie Larson just to see what the fuck, just to see what she says. I guarantee you, she will pitch a fit just at the very idea. I can't believe this is so male gazy. I can't believe people actually made this kind of movie. Yeah, well, tough shit. You want the part or not?
Mighty Joe Young was a remake. That's right. And actually it was a very decent remake. And the original film is really good too. But again, that's one film where they took the idea and they took it a little different direction. And I think it's a very underrated film, the newer one. It's not new anymore. Right? Which one? Charlize Theron, right? Yeah. The original one's really good. And the one with Charlize Theron's really, really good. I'd almost dare say I almost like the remake better in that instance. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched both of them. I do have both of them. I've watched them quite a few times. So I actually skipped school to see Mighty Joe Young on opening day. College, but yeah.
All right. Well,
All right, folks. Let's put a cap on this because John wants to get going or has to get going. And we've been doing this long enough anyway, and we appreciate you guys hanging in there as long as you have. Still over 400 watching. That's just crazy. Culture Casino, do not touch Last Starfighter. You have to face me. Well, the thing is the original film just didn't do much, and they could have done tons of sequel. We've said if anything, do a sequel, but you never know. There's a lot of things I want to say about a movie I just saw, but I can't. So stay tuned for that, though, because it really dives into a lot of the shit we're talking about right now. 80s movies. Okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I can't say anything more.
You've said too much. See, now we have to kill you.
Yeah.
Tom, I'll say something. I love that it was much better than Cats.
It was much better than Cats.
Well, everything's better.
I'm going to see it again and again.
Did you hear what Andrew Lloyd Webber said about Cats?
What?
He was ripping it a new asshole.
The one that they CGI'd out of the movie?
A CGI asshole. Yeah, I was going to get to that, John. So yeah, if you want to hear what he said about it, go out and check. I'm sure you can just type it in and it'll Google it. Oh, but he did not like it. He thought it was stupid. He's like, yeah, what were they thinking? So, all right. I think we got everybody's super chats. Did we miss one from Tim Riggs?
I don't know.
Oh, here we did. Oh, wow. For the panel, name your nightmare 80s movie remake, top billed actor, actress. Back to the Future Forbidden. That has no chance of being made. Your nightmare 80s movie. Okay, so something we don't want to see, and the top. Okay, I get what you're saying. It's kind of like the whole Brie Larson and Howard the Duck thing. Gotcha. Boy, you got one, John, offhand you could think of that you don't want touched from the 80s?
Hold on, sorry, I was talking to my wife.
No problem.
Name your nightmare 80s movie remake and top billed actor, actress.
So basically, one you don't want them to touch, and who could be the absolute worst choice?
He took it away from me.
Well, he said we can't say Back to the Future, so so many might have already been remade. Okay, Terminator, that's a good choice. And who would you cast?
I don't even know. There isn't anyone like that's
Jai Courtney.
So, like, am I picking like a someone who would be horrible in the role?
Yeah. You're supposed to pick the absolute worst choice for the role. Yeah.
To play a Terminator, Brie Larson.
That's what they would do too. You're right. Script.
Blind Fury. Don't want them to remake that. And I don't know. Robert Pattinson would be. I don't want him in that either.
There you go, Mecca.
Spaceballs. Will Smith.
Oh, you're going deep. You're going way deep. All right, Rob.
A Hard Day's Night starring U2.
That's 80s. That's not 80s. That's in the 60s, you dumb shit.
I don't know. I can't think of anything offhand.
I know a lot of movies you love out of the 80s.
Ghostbusters starring Kristen Wiig and
well, that's the problem. That's what I just said. All mine have already been hit. Like Ghostbusters and Karate Kid, and of course got Will Smith's fucking kid in it. Oh shit! So I guess
Weird Science, maybe.
Weird Science, maybe real.
No, you like. Okay, I'll do Rob.
Wait, I got one. Back to School.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna pick for you.
Die Hard starring Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Another one.
Actually, I got it. No. Leslie Jones in Back to School.
Or
Lena Dunham. One of those two. Yes. There you go. And since a lot of mine have already been hit.
To contemporary American history.
They already did remake Back to School with Melissa McCarthy, though.
Yeah.
That's true. So yeah, you already did kind of have that happen to you. I mean, like I said, all mine have been picked too. Luckily, Bill and Ted is safe for now because there's a sequel, not a remake. What's left? Short Circuit, I guess.
Yeah, they shouldn't touch that.
And I guess
Tim Riggs.
Oh, they won't. Nobody can fuck with Kubrick's movies. I bet
They did actually have discussions with Tom Holland about remaking Back to the Future at one point.
I heard that was utter bullshit.
I think he said
Zemeckis
that.
and Gale still own the rights to that. So
yeah, they've said repeatedly that they're not going to have anyone remake their stuff. They're doing stuff in other franchises or other mediums. They got the play, and then they're doing a Back to the Future crossover with Transformers in the comics coming up.
You know, I wish
Marty!
we had more time.
Marty, there's giant robots everywhere, Marty.
Let me see if I can get this real quick. You guys vamp for 2 seconds. Let me see if I can
They
find
also
it.
should not remake The Princess Bride, and they should absolutely not have Brie Larson star as Wesley.
Aren't they making? They're doing that though. They're remaking The Princess Bride.
Yeah, that was. I don't think that's real though. I think they were trying to, but they are not actually. It's not like greenlit or anything. It was just one of those dumb rumors.
No, I thought they got there were people behind it. Like it was a dumb rumor, and then they came out and said that was happening.
No, they had what happened last I heard was pretty much everybody in the planet said absolutely don't remake The Princess Bride. Even Carrie always said yeah, there's a few perfect movies in this world. Princess Bride is one of them or something. Whatever, however he adapted the line to basically say don't remake this movie.
No, there's one starring Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner, Tiffany Haddish, and more. It's going to air on Quibi. This Bride recreation.
On Quibi?
Yeah, June 26, 2020, Variety article.
That guarantees nobody's going to see it.
So they're going to try and do it in 7 minutes? Because that's what Quibi is.
All right,
know.
you guys are going to get to see something here because this is not coming from me. So I can't say it, but hey, I've said my piece already. You're getting a quick... Oh, I boomered this shit. All right.
That man has
Forgot the audio?
Yeah.
I have a feeling Bill and Ted will not be woke.
Oh, motherfucker, I just closed the wrong thing.
Marty, there's giant robots, Marty.
And I had it at the perfect spot.
I'm actually kind of looking
What was that,
forward
40,
to the
21?
Transformers Back to the Future crossover.
40, what was it?
21, I think.
48, 21?
48, 21, maybe, yeah.
49?
Brie Larson and Robert Pattinson in 2023 is The Princess Bride. No, it'll be Brie Larson and it'll be Brie Larson and it'll be Tessa Thompson.
Okay, now I got it.
I don't know which one's going to be Wesley though. Which one's more masculine? Probably Tessa Thompson.
A very good eye script. I love
She'll be
it.
Wesley and Brie Larson will be Buttercup.
Okay, guys, you guys are going to see something. Andre will probably kill me for this. This is me talk. I got to talk to Ed Sullivan the other day. This is what he said about the woke agenda and Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Bullshit. The one that you're referring to, like it's part of some woke agenda. That's the part that takes me off. First of all, there isn't a Hollywood agenda involved in this movie in any way. I cannot stress to you enough how uninterested in this movie Hollywood was. They passed on it left and right. Every time we tried to get someone to finance it, they passed for a decade. Everybody passed multiple times. Every independent.
So I was right.
Every financier passed. There's no agenda. That's the part that makes me mad. The part that's truthful is it just was boring and derivative and redundant when it was.
He's talking about making
I like
them
that I said
girls instead of
derivative and
boys.
redundant. That's redundant.
So Mecca was right. It is not.
And it does. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more. So.
See, now this is what I have been saying, that is a script from 10 years ago that they had finished before all this stupid Hollywood bullshit. And it's right there. That is exactly what I said. That is an old script. It is something that is made with loving tribute from people who want to make this movie, not trying to kiss Hollywood's ass.
He's like, hey, this movie cost everybody money.
Everybody.
You know what
they
that means?
paid for it themselves. This was not produced by Hollywood at all.
They wanted to. Oh God, Star Trek Short Treks now streaming on YouTube. They're giving the fuckers away.
Yeah, didn't you know that? Tim Riggs sends in $5. Tom, get your ass to Horror Hound Cincinnati 2021. We'll get wasted with Jeff and the world-class bullshitters and talk 80s movies for a couple hours. If everything is open by then and the damn thing is still on, I will be there. Okay, I'll do my best to get there. That I do assure you. All right, yeah. If you want to watch short treks, they're free right now because they can't give the sons of bitches away.
Just want to see a captain kill one of her officers with those aliens, whatever.
Use
With
your ad
tribbles?
block. You don't deserve the money.
Yeah, make sure you use ad block. Christ Almighty!
Waiting for somebody to correct me. And say,
Not sure what do you mean by there's an agenda, He-Man. That's the whole point. Is there was no agenda other than just to do another Bill and Ted movie.
make a
He's
movie.
saying that I don't think he's referring to Bill and Ted. I think he's just referring to a Hollywood agenda.
Oh, the Hollywood, yeah, but he was
Oh, he
saying
didn't deny that.
Yeah. What he's saying is that this movie was made without the Hollywood interference. This was made. You have no idea how much Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves had to do with this movie.
I figured. I can tell. I could tell based on
Alex Winter is one of the producers, not an executive producer like Keanu. He is one of the producers. Like, there's a couple times during the interview where, like, he's like, "Oh, I'll have to ask Alex about that." Like, so, like, and I tried to get Alex and Keanu and shit, but they're all booked up. Like, this was a pain in the ass for me to get done. And I've been working on this for a long time, guys. So this isn't like me getting any kind of grab bag bullshit goodies. I have not gotten anything free or good out of it outside of to see the movie first. And that was it. That's the only thing I've gotten.
We're going to be able to say that.
Don't lie. You're Access Media now.
I've already, no, everybody knows I've seen the movie. That's been out there. But I just can't, they know I can't talk about it because I'm embargoed till the 28th.
Okay.
Or the 27th or whatever. Yeah.
You loved it. It was much better than Cats. You're
But
going to.
here's the thing. Like, just without even seeing the movie, right? Without even seeing the movie, going by what he said on Twitter, going by what people have asked him, he's actually out there. People are on Twitter saying, "Yeah, but is this going to be another one of these male bashing Hollywood woke things?" And he's gone out of his way to say, "No, it is not going to be woke."
Well, he even had somebody directly come at him and go, because he is, he's very political sometimes on his Twitter. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And he flat out said, because somebody asked him, "Well, if I'm a Trump supporter, am I not allowed to watch the Bill and Ted movie or something like that, to that effect?" We showed the tweet here once on the show. And he said,
a crazy person that's like, if you're a Trump supporter, don't have anything to do with me ever or whatever.
No, he's like, this movie's for everyone. I want everybody to see it. And he apologized for some of his hyperbolic nature as far as, the anti-Trump stuff goes. But he's like, don't let that, inform the film. That has nothing to do with the film. It does not have a political agenda.
Especially if it was written 10 years ago.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let's just put this into perspective. In 2010, what was going on in politics? Nothing. Not a damn thing. If this was written in 2010, give or take, 2009, give or take, it has nothing to do with Trump.
Party.
Trump wasn't even on the radar back then, so it's not going to be anything.
No, the basic story is not changed in 10 years. That he told me that flat out. I mean, there's been, stuff that was worked on and it was, rewritten here and there until they got to the actual movie. And of course the boys put in their 2 cents and all that kind of stuff. But he basically told me, no, the basic through line of the story has always been the same. And again, the other thing that really pissed him off is the shit at the end of Bogus Journey, all the stuff at the end with the headlines, they had nothing to do with that. So they had to write themselves with that in mind. They do take that in mind. He does say that. Like, I can't speak to the film because I can't say what I saw, but like they did. So like, there's people who were confused and concerned about some of that shit too. All that shit's addressed. So like they had a hard time kind of writing themselves out of that corner and back into a place where they could tell another story that really made sense. And because of some of those headlines were just outrageous. Like there comes some crazy out. Like we would have never come up with that stuff like that.
Okay, just listen. The whole idea why we have a secret ballot in this country is so that you don't have to ask that question. It's none of my business who you voted for.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the thing. So you cannot be intimidated, whether it's in the workplace or in your private life, by what you do in the ballot box.
Unless I can tell you this.
Yeah.
To get away from the political shit. You have the same 2 writers who created they were Bill and Ted. And then they just
writing themselves into this, and
that's what it was, a skit they came up with themselves. There was actually 3 of them to begin with. It was Bill, Ted, and I think Bob or something like that. But then Bob quit the group. And then there was Rufus, who was actually a lot different. And he talks, we get some good stuff in that interview. So even though I gave you guys that bit, there's a lot more good stuff in there that Bill and Ted fans have never heard. Like, they were meticulous on this film. I paid very, very, very close attention to a lot of things to make sure they did not forget stuff. Like, even make silly mistakes, like giving the girls the wrong names. Because, you know, it could easily be forgotten that the Ted named his kid Bill and Bill named his kid Ted. Like, that's easy to forget real quick, but they didn't. There's other little things they made sure they were very meticulous about. So they address everything that needed to be addressing. That's all I can say. Boeg sends in a Mexican $20. Thank you so much. Transformers War for Cybertron is good. Watch it. You're not the first person I've heard say that. So if you're a Transformer fan, I've heard that's something you should check out. So there you go. All right. I think we have drugged this out a whole lot longer than we planned on. I apologize, John. I did not plan on going a whole nother half hour. But no, you guys are great out there in the chat. You guys have been hanging in there. I appreciate it. The super chats and everything, all the support. I don't think we're going to go into a big, huge ending like we normally do. We've been trying to figure out something new anyway. So, yeah, let's just do this.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this.